All right, welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're flipping the script on that whole dusty vinyl stereotype.
Right.
We're talking Discogs, but not just as a music database. Think of it more as a global marketplace, where those records can actually maybe make you some money.
Yeah, what I think is so fascinating here is how Discogs, it like blends that massive user-built database with a bustling marketplace. It's like, imagine if Wikipedia was also eBay, but specifically for physical music.
Okay, yeah, that's a pretty cool combo. So we got some excerpts here from a guide called 1,000 Ways to Hustle Discogs. So imagine you're like a vinyl enthusiast looking to turn that passion into a side hustle. Well, this deep dive is your crash course.
Yeah, and for those just starting out, the key is to understand that dual nature of Discogs. It's a comprehensive database for every release, every version, every pressing, you name it. And on top of that, it's a platform where people from all corners of the world are buying and selling these musical treasures.
It's like a never-ending virtual record fair. And for vinyl lovers especially, this is where things get really interesting. Because, let's be honest, a near-mint record is worth, way more than one that's seen better days.
Exactly. And that brings us to one of the most crucial aspects of Discogs, the grading system. This is all about, establishing trust in an online marketplace. You seasoned collectors out there might know this already, but for those just starting out, let's break down why this grading system is the bedrock of Discogs.
Okay, yeah, I'm all ears. I've always wondered how you can be sure what you're getting online matches the description.
Well, imagine you find a record that looks perfect in the photos online, but then there's this, hidden scratch that totally ruins the listening experience. That's why Discogs has this standardized grading system.
Okay, so it's about protecting both buyers and sellers from those nasty surprises. But isn't it tempting to be a little, shall we say, optimistic when you're grading your own collection?
Oh, the temptation is definitely there, I'm not going to lie. But honestly, overgrading it'll just backfire on you. Unhappy buyers, negative feedback. It's just not worth it. Undergrading, on the other hand, can actually build trust. And it might even surprise you with a sale.
So you're saying playing it safe with the grading can actually pay off. That's a pretty counterintuitive tactic. But let's say you've got some accurately graded records ready to sell. Where do you even find these potential gold mines in the first place?
Well, the guide suggests starting with the familiar, your own collection. Go through your shelves. What are you not listening to anymore? What have you upgraded to better copies of? You might be sitting on a gold mine and not even know it.
Honestly, I never thought about my own collection that way. You're making it sound like a treasure hunt. But what if I've already exhausted my personal stash? Where do I go from there?
That's when you hit the bargain hunting grounds. Thrift stores, flea markets, those dusty garage sales, where patience is key. Picture this. You're digging through crates at a Goodwill outlet. Those are sometimes called the bins, by the way. And amidst the scratched disco records and the forgotten Christmas albums, you find a first pressing of a classic rock album for pennies. That's the thrill of the hunt.
Okay, now you've really got me itching to hit up some thrift shops.
Yeah.
I can practically smell the musty vinyl and feel that adrenaline rush of finding a hidden gem.
I once found a first pressing Bowie album at a garage sale for $5. Turned out to be worth hundreds. Those are the moments that make all the digging worthwhile, right?
So that's the kind of story that gets me hooked. But let's say our hypothetical vinyl enthusiast has struck gold. They've got a stack of these, potential treasures. What's the next step in this Discogs journey?
Okay, so you've unearthed some vinyl treasures. Now let's talk about presenting them to the world. That's where the art of listing comes in. And trust me, it's more than just snapping a quick photo and typing in the album title.
I have a feeling there's a whole science to this, right? What makes a Discogs listing truly stand out from the crowd?
This is where the Discogs database truly shines. You need to find the exact CT release in the database. Not just a generic listing. We're talking versions, pressings, regional variations. Even minor details can matter. For example, you might think near mint means perfect, but on Discogs, it allows for a few tiny imperfections. Knowing these nuances can make or break a sale.
I see what you mean. It's all about precision and really understanding the subtle differences between releases. But what about setting a price? Is there a secret formula for figuring out how much to charge?
Once you've found the right entry in the database, you can actually use Discogs' sales history to see what similar items have sold for recently. This gives you a good baseline for setting a competitive price, and of course the condition of your item will play a huge role in determining its value.
So it's all about striking that balance between being competitive and making sure you're not undervaluing your finds. But let's be real for a second. Doesn't that create a temptation to be overly cautious? How do you strike that balance between being honest and not undervaluing your finds?
You've got to factor in the want list feature. It shows you how many people are actively searching for that specific release. If you've got something 500 people are craving, you're in a good position.
Ah, that makes sense. Supply and demand.
Yeah.
The classic economic principles at play. Even in the world of vinyl, but it can't just be about numbers, right? Don't visuals play a huge role too?
Don't underestimate the power of high-quality photos. Think of it as presenting your musical wares in the best possible light. Multiple angles, close-ups of any flaws, all in good lighting. You want to show buyers exactly what they're getting.
It's like online dating for vinyl collectors. You want to present your best self, or in this case, your record's best side. But hold on, didn't we skip a step? How do you know if anyone even wants what you're selling?
You're right. We need to talk about the want list feature. This is pure gold for sellers. It lets you see how many people are actively searching for the specific release you're selling, giving you a sense of demand.
So if you've got something that 500 people are craving, you know you're in a good position, right?
Precisely.
All right, so our Discogs hustler has found their treasures, meticulously graded them, crafted a stellar listing with mouth-watering photos.
Yeah.
What's the final hurdle in this whole process?
Yes. The grand finale. Shipping. And trust me, this is more than just slapping on a label and hoping for the best.
Okay, I'm all ears. What are the essential packing tips to ensure those precious grooves arrive safe and sound?
Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of Discogs hustling.
Last time we were getting pretty hyped about finding those hidden gems and crafting the perfect Discogs listing.
Yeah, we even talked about the thrill of the hunt, like scoring that first pressing Bowie album for a steal.
Oh yeah, for sure. But it can't all be sunshine and rainbows, right? There's got to be a flip side to all this Discogs glory.
You're absolutely right. Like any online marketplace, there are risks involved.
Okay, let's get real. What kind of scams and shady dealings are we talking about here? I'm all ears because I definitely don't want to fall prey to some Discogs shenanigans.
Imagine this. You've got a rare record listed, and you get an email, seemingly from PayPal, saying you've been paid.
Oh, my heart would skip a beat. Finally, someone's recognizing the value of my collection.
But here's the catch. It's a fake email.
Ugh, talk about a buzzkill. How do you even protect yourself from something like that? It seems so sneaky.
Always verify payments directly through your PayPal account, never just from an email. And never, ever ship anything before you've got that confirmed payment in your hand, so to speak.
That's a golden rule for any online transaction, really. Always double check those payment confirmations.
Absolutely. And here's another classic scam to watch out for. The overpayment trick.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
A buyer accidentally sends you way too much money and then begs you to refund the difference. Alarm bells should be ringing, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Like, why would anyone ever overpay on purpose? That's a giant red flag in my book.
Exactly. It's a common tactic to try and trick you into sending money back, only to find out the original payment was fraudulent.
So I guess the lesson here is, trust your gut. If something feels off, it probably is.
Yeah, that's a great takeaway. And another thing to be wary of is buyers trying to get you to ship to an address, different from the one linked to their Discogs account. That's a big no-no.
Makes total sense. It's like they're trying to cover their tracks. So it sounds like sticking to the platform's rules and using common sense. Are the best defenses against these scams?
Absolutely. Only accept payments through Discogs approved methods, communicate solely through their messaging system, and report any suspicious activity immediately.
That's solid advice. It's like a Discogs safety checklist. But even if you're
a meticulous
grader and a shipping ninja, disagreements can still happen, right? We can't avoid disputes altogether, can we?
That's just the reality of doing business online. But the good news is Discogs has a pretty robust dispute resolution process.
Okay, so what happens if a buyer claims the item wasn't as described or arrived damaged? It's got to be nerve-wracking to put yourself out there, knowing that disputes could arise.
It definitely can be. But first and foremost, stay calm and professional. Respond to the buyer promptly, listen to their concerns, and try to resolve the issue amicably.
So it's all about clear communication.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find a resolution that works for both parties, like a musical mediator almost.
Exactly. Offer solutions, like a partial refund or even a return if it's warranted. But always, always document everything, including photos, messages, and tracking information, just in case.
Evidence is key. I'm starting to see a pattern here. Detailed documentation seems to be crucial at every stage of this Discogs hustle.
You got it. And if you can't come to an agreement with the buyer, you can escalate the dispute to Discogs. They'll review the evidence and make a decision.
And I'm guessing, like, accurate grading and detailed descriptions are your best defense in these situations.
Yeah.
It all circles back to being honest and transparent from the get-go.
Absolutely. If you can prove that you accurately represented the item's condition and followed Discogs guidelines, you're in a much stronger position.
All right, so we've covered the potential pitfalls, but let's shift gears and talk about maximizing those Discogs earnings. Our source mentioned some savvy strategies for boosting profits.
Yeah, it all starts with strategic sourcing. Instead of just grabbing every record you see, focus on genres, artists, and releases that are in high demand. Become a trend spotter.
Ooh, I like that. A musical trend spotter. So it's not just about finding cool records, it's about understanding what the market actually wants.
Precisely. Learn about which labels are sought after, which pressings are rare, even which countries or regions produce more valuable releases. It's like becoming a music market analyst.
That sounds pretty intense, but also incredibly fascinating. Do you have any tips for getting started with this kind of research?
Well, the Discogs database itself is a treasure trove of information. Pay attention to the want list feature, see what people are actively searching for, check out online forums and communities where collectors gather to discuss their passions.
So tap into the collective wisdom of the Discogs community.
Yeah.
I love that idea. It's like having a whole network of musical mentors guiding your sourcing decisions.
Exactly. You can also learn a lot by browsing record stores, attending record shows, and even just striking up conversations with experienced collectors. They've often got, invaluable insights and tips to share.
It's all about building those connections and immersing yourself in the vinyl world.
And don't be afraid to specialize. Maybe you become the go-to person for 80s synth pop or obscure punk rock 7 inches. Developing a niche can give you an edge.
So it's about passion meeting profit, finding that sweet spot where your musical interests align with market demand.
Absolutely. And once you've got your sourcing strategy down, it's all about maximizing your listings. We've talked about accurate grading and detailed descriptions, but there's more to it than that.
Okay, give me the inside scoop. What are some next-level listing strategies?
High-quality photos are non-negotiable. Show the item from multiple angles. Use good lighting. And don't be afraid to, get up close and personal with those flaws. You want those photos to sing.
So no blurry, dimly lit iPhone pics. It's all about showcasing those vinyl treasures in their best light.
Think of it as like staging a photo shoot for your records. Make them look irresistible.
I love that analogy. Okay, what else? Any other listing secrets to share?
Use strong keywords in your title and description, but don't overdo it. Highlight any special features, like limited editions, colored vinyl, or rare inserts. And don't be afraid to adjust your prices based on demand and competition.
So it's about being dynamic and responsive to the market, constantly tweaking and refining your approach.
Exactly. And once you've made a sale, swift shipping is key. Package those records like they're going on tour. Plenty of padding, sturdy mailers, and always include tracking information.
You have this whole process down to a science. It's inspiring to see how much thought and strategy goes into a successful Discogs hustle.
Yeah, it's definitely more than just buying and selling old records. There's a real art to it.
Speaking of art, I'm starting to see how Discogs itself is a kind of art form, a platform where music and commerce and community all kind of intersect in this really cool way.
It's a beautiful thing. But before we get too carried away with the romance of it all, there's one crucial aspect we haven't discussed yet.
Ooh, a cliffhanger. What else is there to uncover in this Discogs universe?
Well, we've talked about the hustle, the grading, the sourcing, the potential pitfalls, even the art of listing and shipping. But what about the money talk, the financial side of things?
Okay, now we're getting down to business. I'm guessing this is where things get a little more complicated.
Yeah.
Spreadsheets and tax forms. Oh my.
Oh, well, it's not rocket science, but there are definitely some important considerations when it comes to taxes, record keeping, and even potentially scaling up your Discogs operation. So join us next time as we delve into the financial side of Discogs hustling and equip you with the knowledge you need to make informed decisions and maximize your profits responsibly.
I'm already taking notes. Until then, happy hustling, and may your sales be plentiful. All right, deep divers, we're back for the final act of our Discogs hustle extravaganza.
Yeah, we've dug deep into sourcing, grading, even navigating those tricky scams and disputes.
We even touched on the art of crafting those irresistible listings and shipping those precious grooves with the utmost care.
But now it's time to face the music, so to speak. Let's talk dollars and cents.
Okay, I'm ready for the money talk. Things are about to get real, aren't they?
Well, it's not as intimidating as it might seem. The key thing to remember is when you're selling on Discogs, you're essentially running a small business.
So we need to be like above board here, right? What are the essential, tax things to keep in mind?
Exactly. For starters, you're considered an independent contractor, which means you're responsible for reporting your income and paying taxes accordingly.
All right, so no stashing those Discogs profits under the mattress.
Not if you want to avoid a musical audit.
Good point. So what's the best way to keep track of everything and make sure we're playing by the rules?
A simple spreadsheet can work wonders. Track your inventory, the prices you paid for items, your listing prices, the fees you incur, and of course your profits. It's all about having a clear picture of your cash flow.
I'm sensing a theme here. Detailed record keeping seems to be the secret sauce for a smooth Discogs operation.
You got it. And as your business grows, you might want to consider more sophisticated tools like accounting software or even hiring a bookkeeper.
Okay, so let's say our listener is really killing it on Discogs. What are some strategies for taking things to the next level, turning that side hustle into a full-fledged vinyl empire?
Now you're talking. One option is to expand your inventory. Maybe you start specializing in certain genres or formats, or you invest in bulk purchases to get better deals.
So it's about finding your niche and becoming the go-to source for those specific items.
Precisely. Another strategy is to optimize your listings even further. Think about professional photography, creating eye-catching descriptions, and even running sales or promotions.
It's all about those little details that make your listings pop. We've heard that high-quality photos are a must-have. But are there any other tricks of the trade for crafting a truly irresistible Disguise listing?
Absolutely. Think about your target audience. What kind of information would they be looking for? Are there any unique selling points you can highlight? Maybe the record is signed or it's a rare pressing.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to tell a story. People connect with narratives even when they're buying vinyl online.
I never thought about storytelling in a Discogs listing. That's such a cool idea. So it's not just about the facts. It's about creating a connection with potential buyers.
Exactly. And as your business grows, you might even consider branching out beyond Discogs. List your items on other marketplaces. Create your own website or even start attending record fairs and conventions.
Wow, the possibilities are endless. It's inspiring to see how this can evolve from a casual hobby into a full-blown musical venture.
It's amazing how passion can fuel success. But remember, building a thriving Discogs business, It takes time, dedication, and a genuine love for music.
It's been an incredible journey exploring all the ins and outs of this fascinating world.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground, from the basics of grading to the complexities of scaling a business.
But at the heart of it all is that shared love for music, for those physical artifacts that hold so much history and emotion.
It's been a pleasure sharing this deep dive with you.
And with you, dear listeners. We hope you've enjoyed this deep dive into the world of Discogs hustling. We've equipped you with the knowledge, the strategies, and hopefully the inspiration to get out there and start digging. Remember, every record has a story to tell. Go find those stories and connect them with a new audience. Happy hustling.